Breaking news! There's a silent storm brewing in Baltimore, and it's not coming from the offense, the defense, or even the locker room drama. It's coming from a name no one was talking about a few weeks ago. A rookie who didn't dominate headlines on draft night. A player many fans didn't even expect to make the final roster. But now, he might be the one holding this team's playoff hopes in his hands, or rather, in his foot. But before we move on, make sure you hit that like button if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you feel like it, comment, "Go Ravens," down below. Let's talk about the rookie who just might be the biggest surprise of training camp so far, Tyler Loop. Yes, the kicker. While most fans were ready to watch a battle unfold between Loop and John Hland throughout camp and preseason, the Ravens front office apparently made up their mind earlier than anyone expected. Hland is gone, and the Loop era has begun. What Tyler Loop did during Sunday's practice wasn't just impressive, it was eye-opening. Under the bright lights of M/T Bank Stadium, Loop won a perfect 7 for 7, capped off with an electric 60-yard bomb that reportedly would have been good from 67 yards out, according to Jordan Stout and data from TrackMan. Think about that. A rookie kicker who barely made a blip on most draft boards walked into Baltimore and delivered one of the best training camp kicking performances we've seen in years. It's not just the distance. It's not just the accuracy. It's the pressure. Loop didn't just make kicks. He stole the show. Jonas Schaefer and AJ Gersh were buzzing about it. Fans in the stands gave one of the loudest ovations of the day for a field goal. That speaks volumes. This wasn't just a solid day. It was a defining moment, and John Harbaugh knew it. He handed out an A++++. That's not just coach speak. That's conviction. Now let's rewind a bit. Eric DeCosta, once again, proves why he's considered one of the sharpest minds in the NFL. While most teams either passed on kickers entirely or waited until late to grab one, DeCosta selected Tyler Loop just 4 picks after the first kicker came off the board. And keep this in mind, Loop wasn't even rated in the top 3 pre-draft by many analysts. 3 kickers ranked ahead of him weren't even drafted. Yet DeCosta saw something others didn't. That's the kind of move that defines great front offices. Tyler Loop's college stats at Arizona weren't perfect. An 83.8% field goal percentage over 50 games. Solid, not spectacular. But Loop hit a 62-yarder in college, and now he's making waves with a 60-yard monster in the pros. That's not a fluke. That's a trend. That's potential. Now, the obvious shadow looms large. Justin Tucker, the greatest kicker in NFL history. 212 games, 417 field goals, just under 90% accuracy, and of course, that unforgettable 66-yard game winner. That's the legacy Tyler Loop steps into. No one expects Loop to be Tucker, and maybe he doesn't have to be. But what the Ravens do need is consistency, especially after Tucker's rough 2023 campaign where he hit just 73.3% of his field goals, ranking near the bottom of the league. From 40 to 49 yards, Tucker was just 62.5%. From 50+, he made only 54.5%. Those numbers force Baltimore to consider life after a legend, and it looks like they've already found his successor. There was no long, drawn-out kicking battle in camp. No preseason suspense. The Ravens were convinced. Loop is the guy, and after what we saw on Sunday, it's hard to argue with that decision. Everything, the confidence, the leg strength, the accuracy under pressure, it all screams future NFL starter. And what a story it would be if this unheralded rookie turns out to be another decade-long solution at kicker for Baltimore. On his birthday, no less, Loop sent a message. He's not just here to fill a roster spot. He's here to kick through legacies. But here's the question I want to leave you with. Could Tyler Loop actually be the next long-term answer at kicker for the Ravens? Or are we getting ahead of ourselves after one impressive showing? Let's keep this story rolling, because the Tyler Loop narrative isn't just about one great practice. It's about what it represents for this franchise, this roster, and how Eric DeCosta continues to find talent in places where other teams just aren't looking. We've talked about the kicks, the stats, the draft, but now let's talk about what's next, because the stakes are sky high, and whether we like it or not, the pressure that comes with replacing Justin Tucker is going to be relentless. You don't just walk into Baltimore and casually take over for the most accurate kicker in NFL history. That kind of pressure can crush young players. But based on what we saw on that field at M/T Bank Stadium, Tyler Loop didn't just handle the pressure. He thrived in it. He looked calm, composed, and confident. That matters, especially when the season gets long, the weather gets cold, and the games start to really count. This Ravens team isn't just built to compete, it's built to win now. With Lamar Jackson at the helm, a revamped backfield featuring Derrick Henry and a fully healthy Keaton Mitchell, and a young defense ready to make noise, this team is setting its sights on the Super Bowl. But in the NFL, games are often decided by a single play, and more often than people realize, that play is a kick. That's why the Loop decision carries so much weight. John Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta didn't just cut John Land because of one good day by Loop. They cut him because Loop has been quietly delivering all camp long. His technique, his timing with long snapper and holder, his ability to stay locked in under pressure, all of that adds up to a front office and coaching staff that doesn't just think they have their guy. They know they do. And that belief isn't just internal. There's buzz coming out of camp from players as well. Jordan Stout didn't hesitate when talking about Loop's range. When a teammate says that a 60-yarder could have been good from 67, that's not just encouragement, that's genuine respect. And that kind of locker room confidence can't be underestimated. Now, don't get it twisted. Loop's job is far from safe. He's going to need to prove himself every single week. One bad miss in a critical game, and the pressure cooker will turn all the way up. Ravens fans have been spoiled for over a decade with Justin Tucker. They expect greatness. And to Loop's credit, it looks like he embraces that. What I find really interesting is the long-term vision here. Think about it. Kickers can play 10, 15, even 20 years if they stay healthy and consistent. The Ravens aren't just hoping Loop can give them a solid rookie season. They're looking at a player who could become the new face of special teams in Baltimore for the next generation. It's also worth mentioning what this means for roster flexibility. If you can trust your kicker from 55-plus yards out, it changes the way you call plays late in halves and games. It gives Lamar and the offense more options. It gives Harbaugh confidence to settle for 3 points knowing they're probably in the bag. That's not a luxury. That's a weapon. So what's next for Tyler Loop? Joint practices, preseason action, and ultimately, real games where the spotlight only gets brighter. And all eyes will be on him to see if he can turn this hot start into long-term production. The early signs are incredibly promising. He's done everything the team has asked. He's delivered in high-pressure moments. And most importantly, he's earned trust from coaches, teammates, and fans. But will he keep it? Only time will tell. But Ravens fans, you might want to remember the name Tyler Loop, because if Sunday's performance was any indication, he might just be the next chapter in Baltimore's incredible kicker legacy. And here's something else to think about. Tyler Loop's arrival could mark a cultural shift for the Ravens special teams unit. For so long, it was Justin Tucker's room. His personality, his leadership, his routine. Now, a 23-year-old rookie is stepping into that void, not only to kick field goals, but to redefine the tone of this group moving forward. That's not easy. That takes more than just leg strength. It takes presence. It takes composure. And from what we're hearing and seeing in camp, Loop seems to have both. He's not flashy. He's not trying to be the next Tucker. He's just showing up, doing his job, and doing it at a high level. That kind of professionalism is rare for a rookie, especially one who wasn't even a top 3 kicker prospect in his draft class. But Loop has defied expectations every step of the way, from going undetected by most analysts to locking up the Ravens starting job weeks before preseason even begins. This is the kind of underdog story Baltimore fans love. And maybe that's the biggest reason fans are starting to rally behind him. Because while he's filling big shoes, he's doing it his own way, quietly, confidently, and with one booming kick at a time.